Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to 8BE Nation HQ. Nintendo news up the yin yang today. Some big stuff. Yesterday we did talk about the possibility of an Indie World Direct coming out. Nintendo confirmed it officially. So tomorrow morning, May 11th, 7 a.m. Pacific time. My gosh, is that early? You better wake up in your little PJs, get your Wheaties, because you're going to have roughly 20 minutes of info on upcoming indie games for the Nintendo Switch. So they already put the link out there. So 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, so 9 a.m. Central Time. My gosh, do I really got to wake up for that? I'm going to be honest, I can really care about indie games. In fact, longtime viewer of the channel, that Crazy Greek 82 right here, says my sentiments exactly. He says, meh, as his response to an Indie World Direct. 20 minutes? That's a lot of time. And we're going to be seeing a lot of interesting indie games that we never even heard of. Brand new stuff, some exclusives. I don't know. There is a rumored maintenance time an hour before this Indie World Direct that some people are speculating some indie game might be getting a multiplayer aspect added to it that will be one of those available later today type of announcements that Nintendo likes to do during these directs. Now, continuing on to Nintendo, they just had a fiscal earnings call, or an annual call, and you can see right here, Switch has officially hit 107.6 million as Nintendo claims its highest annual software sales ever. So Nintendo is claiming on this call that they've had the most success as far as software sales go. Now, real quick, just before we touch on this, I did see elsewhere that they did suffer a little bit on the hardware end of sales. They had a small dip because of the semiconductor shortage that's been going out. You know, this infamous semiconductor shortage that is affected not just the video games industry, but electronics in general. I mean, everything and anything is kind of having a shortage because 2 years later, past, the start of the, pandemic, companies are still having trouble with this. So who knows how long this is going to last. But this is some good news for Nintendo. Just to throw out some numbers right here, they basically have had the company's best-selling ever games hardware with 107.65 million units shipped as of March 31st, 2022. So this was Tuesday, earlier today. So that's fucking phenomenal. So the Switch is already basically confirmed as the best-selling Nintendo console of all time. So it beat the Wii's 101.63 million. However, it still has a way to go before it matches Nintendo DS's 154.02 units sold and Game Boy at 118.69. So it's the home console, the best-selling home console, beating out the Wii, which we saw this coming. Now, outside of Nintendo's own console, the only two consoles that have outsold the Nintendo Switch at this point is the PlayStation 4 at 116.6 million and the PS2 at 155 million. So this is possible. It says overall Nintendo sold 23.06 million Switch consoles during its 22 fiscal year, which represents a 20% decline from the previous when the console peaked at 28.83 million units. And that, again, touches on the semiconductor thing. Now, what I want to know is what makes 0.06 of a unit? Like, is somebody only getting like a fucking cut piece of a Nintendo Switch? like how are you the 154.02 millionth unit to be sold? I'm very curious on how that decimal point works. Now, they did note last year, and we all know Animal Crossing literally carried Nintendo Switch software sales last year. But now this year has been fantastic. 25% of the year's Switch sales were the new OLED unit. I still don't have one. I still get asked all the time, Eric, are you getting Nintendo Switch OLED? I don't play portably enough to justify getting one. It looks cool, but I don't know. I don't know. Now, they do expect to ship 21 million consoles before the end of its current year in March 2023, which is still a 9.8% decline from last year and a 37% decline from 2020. Again, Nintendo usually kind of takes a lower, more conservative approach with their projections, but you also got to factor in that semiconductor thing. Now, they did put a few figures here as far as sales go for titles, And sales numbers are really interesting, especially considering some of these that came out. Obviously, Pokemon did a big, huge hit. I believe Pokemon all around outsold every single thing on Nintendo consoles. But it says a total of 39 titles were sold over 1 million units during the fiscal year 2022. Pardon me, I'm dealing with a sore throat today. Hashtag get well soon, Eric, in the comments, please. So 39 total sold over 1 million units. That's not bad. It says software sales grew 1.8% year on year. And it's been the highest annual software sales figure ever posted for Nintendo platform to date. So congratulations, Nintendo, on that regard. I mean, that's pretty impressive as far as that goes. Now, they confirmed that the recent release, Kirby Forgotten Land, has sold 2.1 million in 2 weeks. That's pretty cool. I think Kirby was a fantastic game. Pokemon Legends sold 12.64 million units, and Metroid Dread managed 2.9 million, which I feel is a little sad. Metroid's not everybody's cup of tea, to be honest, but I do feel that Nintendo might take notice on the 2.9 million. I don't know. It's still an impressive feat. It sold over 1 million titles, but we never know. When you're seeing games like Pokemon getting in the 12.64 million, I believe Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond had 14.65 million units according to this graphic. Nintendo is going to focus on that, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens in the world of Metroid. You can see this graph right here shows hardware sales, software sales. So 26 out of 39 titles were Nintendo and 13 were by other software publishers. And now we're seeing previously announced titles. And this is where things get interesting, because something big is right here that we're not letting loose on. So you can see there's been a lot of games announced the last couple years that we haven't gotten updates from. And one of them is Bayonetta 3. And this graphic is sticking to the 2022 year being its release schedule, even though we've heard complete radio silence from this. You can see right here, it says previously announced titles. We have Switch Sports, which just came out. June 10th, we have Strikers. June 24th, we're going to have Fire Emblem Warriors. June 30th, we're going to have a Monster Hunter update. July 29th, we're going to have Xenoblade 3. September 9th, we're going to have Splatoon. Late 2022, we're going to have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then just 2022 right here, we have the graphic for Bayonetta 3. So you can see right here, Nintendo reiterated that it expects to ship first-party titles such as Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet during 2022. Nintendo's notorious for delays, but how much longer can they delay Bayonetta 3? That's what I want to know, if it comes out at all. Now, they did mention Mario Party Superstar sold 6.88 million units, and Skyward Sword HD sold 3.91 million units, so not bad. Now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to sell well. You can see it sold 9.94 million units. And New Horizons sold 6.01 million units. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still killing it. So definitely some interesting figures and numbers right here. Metroid didn't do too well compared to some older games. Like Skyward Sword outsold Metroid almost by double. So we'll see what Nintendo does when it comes to that. So interesting aspects here. Congrats to Nintendo for a very successful year. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all this and what you would like to see coming up. We got a big E3 coming ahead of us, so it's going to be very noteworthy this year, I feel. I think we're going to have some good surprises, good announcements. You can see with my shirt, I'm hoping we get some Zelda news. Even if we get Majora's Mask and Ocarina, like HD remake, or even Twilight Princess or Wind Waker brought over, the Wii port, I'll be happy with that. I am a little tired of ports, but at the same time, it was nice to have Skyward Sword tossed up on there and kind of given a second chance, you know. So yeah, that's my thoughts for today's video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't. Let's help grow this channel, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, as always. Peace out.